What's up, GITV? This is Head Tech Frank, and today we're going to be taking a look inside the next generation Aries M4. So Bob did a video on this on the main GITV channel, so I got it in my hands and basically pulled the whole thing apart. Want to do that just to see if there was any differences and what they kept the same. So let's go over the stuff that's the same. So, like the older version, it does come with a full metal receiver, and it does have the little realistic bolt, simulated bolt catch thing for when you pull the charging handle back. It does still have the quick spring change feature. So, if you got the gun set up to handle 400 FPS, but if you go into a CQB field, you need it to be 350. Basically remove the buffer tube, you're gonna see this screw, and then the spring guide is like this, and it actually pops right out the back of the gearbox. You see, it actually just kind of fits in, so you can just go ahead and change the spring, put it back together, 350 FPS, boom, you're good to go. You can get out there and play right away without taking apart the entire gun. Now, some of the new features, looks like they changed the motor a little bit, but it's still just a standard motor, so hopefully it's a little bit more durable than some of the older ones. I have seen a couple of them burn out, but wasn't a very big issue. Every motor kind of burns out. Some of the new stuff, they redesigned their hop-up unit, so it actually looks similar to the Mad Bull 3-in-1 hop-up. So it's got the adjustment is actually in the back of the hop-up. See, full metal rack gears on the piston, basically the rack teeth right here. This is all metal. Aries M4's always had the vented piston heads. Standard M4 cylinder head, standard cylinder, standard M4 nozzle. The funny thing is, Aries always uses a version 3 tappet plate, so just for you guys going into the guns, make sure some of the parts are different. The spring guide is proprietary. Now for the juicy stuff, the biggest change on the new Aries M4 is the electronic switch assembly. So basically, this switch assembly will replace the original switch, the mechanical switch, and you'll actually see there's no more room for the cutoff lever. So all that is done electronically now. So I'm gonna try to attempt to explain that. So looks like this place, the selector plate, actually, I think it actuates a little micro switch or maybe even a sensor down here to let it know that, hey, you know, we're gonna be in safe, we're gonna be in semi, we're gonna be in full auto. So once the system knows that it is in, let's just say, in semi, and you pull the trigger, it's basically going to send current, turn the gears, blah, 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 blah. Now, this part actually goes on the other side of the gearbox, just like this. When we kind of took it apart, this is how we see it. And if you notice on the sector gear, there is a magnet. See, that is magnetized, so that's a magnet. That's how the sensor knows where the gear is in its revolution cycle. So once it, you know, it'll sense it, and once it senses it again, okay, it finished the complete revolution. If it's in semi, I'm going to cut power to the, to the motor. So that's basically how this works. And it looks like this is the module where you're going to be able to kind of program your 3-round bursts and different features that Wallace talked about too. So he didn't give me any instructions on how to do that. So probably not going to mess with it until we actually get them in stock. So that's just the module. Basically, once the gearbox is on, that just plugs right in and you're good to go. And then Aries really likes to use micro switches. The nice thing about these is, it's pretty, a lot of even the old one, even the old Aries M4s where it was just a big micro switch, it was a little bit faster than the response time. When you pull the trigger, it actually shoot a lot faster, and you wouldn't really burn out the switch assemblies too much. And outside of that, everything else basically going to be standard M4 parts. The gear set, you guys got to be careful. If you want to upgrade a gear set, I believe if there's any way you can pull this magnet out and insert it into another gear set, It may work, however, haven't had the chance to test that out. I don't want to butcher his production sample here, so we're just going to go ahead and leave it alone until they actually release. Then we can start playing around with it some more. Looks like that's about it. These are slated to arrive in time for Christmas, and they're going to be sub $300. So I think the price point was about $279.99 they were talking about. So for the price, it's a great airsoft gun. Yes, it's another M4, but hey, what are you going to do? That's about it. See you guys next time.